All right, let's just dive right in. We're going to look at something that, from a distance, might seem pretty simple, maybe like a rock or some kind of underwater plant, a head of coral. But what if I told you it's actually one of the most jam-packed pieces of real estate on the entire planet?
So, I've got a question for you right off the bat. How many creatures do you think are living inside just one of these things? Seriously, take a wild guess. 10? 100? Maybe 1,000? Whatever it is, just lock that number in your head, because we're going to come back to it.
And, this is what's so cool. It's not just a rock. It's not some kind of plant. The source material calls it a compact metropolis. And that, right there, is the whole key to understanding this. We're not looking at one thing. We're looking at a living, breathing city. Okay, so if we're going to explore this city, we have to start with the architecture, right? I mean, from the outside, it's this gorgeous, complex dome. But the real magic, the real story, is what's going on inside those walls. I mean, seriously, think of it just like a human city. You've got your construction workers, you've got a power grid, a water treatment system, you've even got different neighborhoods with day shifts and night shifts. It's a completely self-sufficient world packed into this one structure. So the big question is, who built this place? Who are the architects? Well, it all comes down to two absolutely essential organisms. I mean, without these guys, nothing else we're about to talk about would even be possible. First up, you've got the builders themselves, these little tiny animals called coral polyps. And when I say tiny, I mean each one is just a few millimeters wide. But you get millions of them working together, secreting calcium carbonate. And boom, they're building the literal skeleton, the foundation for this whole city. Okay, so you've got the buildings, but every city needs power, right? In this underwater metropolis, the power plants are a kind of algae called zooxanthellae. These little guys live right inside the coral polyp's tissue. It's this perfect partnership where the algae takes sunlight and turn it into food, basically powering the entire grid for the whole community. And just to give you an idea of the sheer density here, we're not talking about a few algae cells scattered around. No way. We are talking about up to 1 million of these microscopic power plants crammed into a single cubic centimeter of coral tissue. A cubic centimeter! It's mind-blowing when you really think about it.
All right, foundation's built, power is on, it's time for the residents to move in. So let's start with the tenants you can actually see, the ones using this place as a home, a restaurant, and a nursery.
You've got all kinds of fish setting up shop. There are gobies, kinda perched on the outside like lookouts, ready to dart into a hole at the first hint of trouble. And then you have the damsfish. These guys are fascinating. They're like little underwater gardeners, aggressively tending their own private algae farms right there on the coral's surface. And, just like any great city, this one never sleeps. By day, it's all about the fish. But then the sun sets and a whole different crew clocks in for the night shift. Crabs, shrimp, brittle stars, they all come crawling out of the woodwork to hunt and scavenge in the dark. It is a nonstop 24/7 operation. Okay. So we've met the construction crew and the flashy residents who live out in the open. But honestly, that's just scratching the surface. The huge majority of the population is hidden. To find them, we gotta go deeper into the alleyways and crawl spaces of this city. And down in there, you'll find what I like to call the crustacean crew. We're talking tens of thousands of miniature shrimp-like creatures that are a super important link in the food chain. Then there are these specialized crabs that are basically the city's security guards, fighting off predators like starfish. But my personal favorite has to be the snapping shrimp. This tiny thing has a claw that snaps shut so fast, it creates a sonic pop. It's actually one of the loudest sounds in the ocean, and it's a big part of that crackling sound you hear on a healthy reef. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. Not even close. You've got bristleworms snaking through the internal corridors, kind of like a sanitation department recycling waste. Sponges are working as the city's water filtration plant, cleaning thousands of liters of water. You even have clams that literally drill their own apartments right into the coral's skeleton. I mean, every single nook and cranny is taken, and everyone living there has a job to do. Okay, brace yourselves, because now we're going to zoom way, way in, past what you can see down to the microscopic level. And this is where the numbers just get absolutely insane. So, remember that number I asked you to keep in your head at the start? How'd you do? Well, get this. Ecologists figured that a single coral head, just about a meter across, can be home to over 10,000 individual animals. And that's before we even start counting the microbes. Yeah, because once you bring the microbes into it, the numbers just go stratospheric. Scientists have found more than 10 million bacterial cells in a single gram of coral tissue. A gram! That's just staggering. And believe it or not, even that crazy number is probably too low. It doesn't even count all the protists, the fungi, the archaea, all these other microorganisms that create this living layer, this biofilm, over every single surface. It's like this invisible workforce that's absolutely critical for the health of the entire city. So you have to wonder, how on earth does this work? How can this impossibly crowded city function? How do billions of creatures all manage to live together and create one of the most vibrant ecosystems on the planet? Well, it all comes back to that city metaphor. It works because everyone has a job. The grazers, your fish and urchins, they're the park maintenance crew, keeping algae in check. The filter feeders, like sponges, are running the waterworks. The zooxanthellae, they're the power company. And the predators, like crabs and worms, they're the security team. It's a perfectly balanced system. But, and this is a big but, here's the catch. This whole amazing complex city is incredibly fragile. It depends on a super delicate balance. Just a small change in ocean temperature can make the coral spit out its algae. That's what coral bleaching is. And when that happens, the power grid goes down and the whole system can collapse. Pollution, disease, it's all a threat to this bustling metropolis. So when you really look at it, a single head of coral isn't just one thing. It's everything, all at once. It's a towering apartment complex, it's a safe nursery for baby fish, it's a fortress, and it's an all-you-can-eat buffet that's open 24/7. It's a perfect little model of the entire reef. And that really leaves us with one final kind of awe-inspiring thought. If a single one of these coral heads is a metropolis teeming with billions of lives, then what does that make an entire reef, one that stretches for hundreds, even thousands of kilometers? It's a scale of life, a level of biodiversity that's almost too vast for our minds to even wrap around.